This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Today's discussion, whether in business or in life, the discussion, the title is Bias for Action. And what we've seen over the course of our careers is those people that don't get so hung up in analysis. I know everything today is about data and analytics and everything else, and God bless those needs and those specialties. But we found with leaders and managers and people of all sorts, if they have a bias for action, they end up ultimately doing far, far better and accomplishing a lot more and generally being more satisfied. We've seen so many people that are paralyzed by thinking so much that they don't do something. You know, our belief is you got to take chances. You got to do things where we're a believer in smart chances, not risking everything. But that bias for action is so important. In our media company, Becker's Healthcare, my partner, CEO, boss today, Jessica Cole, will say that some people approach a task with ready, aim, and then fire. Others approach a task, they size it up, ready, aim, fire. And what we would say, and again, it's not so much to go against this adage of measure twice, cut once, but there's a huge bias for people that actually take aim and fire, take aim and do things. And that's not to glorify guns. We're not a gun nut, everything is sort. It's just an analogy. Ready, aim, fire. Take your shots at the plate. Don't be so scared by paralysis that you don't do anything. And I would say in my professional career, 10, 20% of people are really built for this bias for action. They just go and they do. A huge percentage get paralyzed by analysis and not acting. Other examples in our private equity podcast, we were doing certain things a certain way. The numbers were just fine, but not very good. At some point, we took actions to pivot to a different direction. It made life a lot easier. I ended up with a fantastic producer in Chanel Bunger, and everything went a lot smoother once we made a few different steps in how we approached the podcast in terms of its success, its growth, its numbers. Again, those are just two small examples of take action, don't dawdle, try different things, and execute. And again, this concept of bias for action, ready, aim, fire, that's the title of this podcast, Bias for Action, Ready, Aim, Fire. A tribute to, in this podcast, shout outs to Jessica Cole and Chanel Bunger, two of my favorite people I work with. God bless you both. If you like this podcast, you listen, you send me a text, ready, aim, fire, and you're the first one that does so. It can't be Chanel or Jessica, because I'll send this to Jessica too. We will send you the $100 Amazon gift certificate, not that Jess or Chanel would ever do that. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity Business Podcast.